Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host Kirk Day, along with my co-hosts Noah Byrne and Nick Miller. And in this video, we're going to go over the games that happened yesterday, April 23rd of the playoffs, the NHL playoffs. Few teams ready to take the series home, taking 3-1 leads, and we got two games that have been knotted up, even at 2-2. Few incidents last night, few games, few memorable moments from some teams, so we're going to go over them all in this video. But before we get into it, if you want to see more from us, make sure to subscribe, because we're going to be posting content all throughout the playoffs. We're going to keep going. And when it's nearing the end of the playoffs, we got the draft, free agency, so it's going to get very exciting even after the playoffs and throughout the playoffs. See, the intensity is just going to grow. So if you want to see it, more content from us, and like everything about it, make sure to subscribe because we're going to be on it all. And without any further ado, we're going to go into our first game of the night, which was the Hurricanes versus the Islanders. Now, in this one, the Hurricanes take the game 5-2. What was a pretty dominant game, I gotta say. The Canes take a 3-1 series lead. The Islanders, I'm just gonna say it, they kind of look like trash. The fans booed them off the ice after the second. It's like they couldn't get anything done this game. Aho and Jarvis looked fantastic out there for the Hurricanes. I mean, each of them scored. They played very, very well. But the Islanders, they haven't been good. They really haven't been good, apart from the game that they won where they scored 4 in the last 3 minutes or whatever. But I think that next game, when the Hurricanes go home, I think they're going to take this series. I think they're going to win it in 5. I don't really think that the Islanders have any hope at this point because they just haven't been able to catch their step. They haven't been able to do much. They haven't looked good. But the Hurricanes, even with their injuries, they're playing great. Their stars are shining. They got to do what they need to do, and they're doing it, and they're playing well. So that's why I think that the Hurricanes are going to take this next game because the Islanders, they haven't been able to do much. So what do you think about that game, Noah?
Yeah, I was a little bit blown away by Antti there. Before the game, I seen a stat that I think he was 0-7 on the road in the playoffs during his career. So, before the game, I was kind of the mindset. Well, we all know before I talk about the mindset, we all know Freddie Anderson, I think, is not 100% healthy. So that's probably why Rant is between the pipes. But I was kind of the mindset after seeing this stat that they give Pyotr Kochikov another chance, see what he can do. I mean, like I said, Ranta being 0-7, that's not encouraging. I know I wouldn't be something I'd be kind of looking forward to. But it was a good run for the Islanders. Like you said, I'm of the same thought process as you. I think it's over. They had a couple good chances, but I think Carolina is just too depthy and just too good. So I think it's over in 5 as well.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you guys there. There doesn't seem to be much hope for the Islanders. I mean, like, this wasn't an even game. The power play again was like another difference. The Hurricanes went 2 for 5. The Islanders went 0 for 3. I mean, like the physicality, you expect the Islanders to be a little bit more physical with their team. Because the Islanders, like, if you're not gonna outskill a team, you might as well out hit them. And the Hurricanes out hit them by 10. So the Hurricanes are doing everything well. Islanders aren't doing what they need to do. I got it gone in 5 as well.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the Islanders. And with the second game of the night, we have the Bruins versus the Panthers. That should say Panthers, excuse me. But in this game, the Bruins win 6-2. A pretty dominant win again. Now, I shouldn't say dominant because Florida did outshoot them 44-31. But the offense was just absolutely fantastic for Boston, as it always has been this season. And Ullmark was on his game. The best goalie in the league at the moment, and they couldn't beat him. The Bruins take a 3-1 series lead, but as Allmark is playing so good, Kachuk tried to get under his skin the whole game. At the end of the game, they had that little skirmish where they were trying to fight. Kachuk got fined $5,000 for that, and Allmark got a 10-minute misconduct, but that was all that came from it. But I don't think that will rattle Allmark in any way. But the series heading back to Boston next game, and there's a chance to win the series. And after that, I don't think that Allmark will want to lose to Kachuk another game. I think he's just going to stand on his head next game, 50-plus saves if he has to take the win to win the series. I think he'll do it. So I think Boston wins this one, just like the Hurricanes in the last one we just talked about last game. I think they take it. Boston's just too good. I don't think Florida has what it takes to even beat them at this point, let alone get another game. So that's what I got for that one. I think same thing for Boston. They're going to take the series next game. So yeah, what do you think, Noah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Florida's just plain simple playing a team that's too good. It's pretty straightforward. Boston is so much more depthy. They're hard. They hit hard. They put the puck in the back of the net. I just like the Islanders Carolina series. I'm going to take a page out of your book there as well. I don't see this lasting much longer. But in terms of the game last night, last night, Secondary scoring was a key to that game. DeBrusque and Taylor Hall both put two in the back of the net. That is a little bit of a key to their success. It takes the pressure off guys like Pasternak and Marchand. It allows them to rely on some other guys, and I think that could be very helpful for the Bruins down the line.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys again. The Bruins are gonna win this in 5. They're going back to the Garden. They're not gonna lose. What can you say about Taylor Hall? Like, he's got 2 goals, 2 assists in that game. Like, he's stepped up when the guys have been out. Like, he's played a little bit of center as well. So that's something that you can look at there. Want to know another outstanding stat? That with the Bruins, with their 2 top centers out, Bergeron and Krejci, they still won 63% of the faceoffs last game. With those 2 guys out.
Who was the 2 centers?
I think Taylor Hall and Pavel Zacha. I'm not sure who else is playing center, but like that's a ridiculous stat. If you're the Panthers, that can't happen. Like that, you need to win faceoffs. You don't win when Bergeron and Krejci are out. Like that. That's horrible.
Yeah, Boston's scheme is just way too good.
Yeah.
And with the third game of the night, we have the Stars versus the Wild. Now, I have some stuff to say about this one, so buckle up. The Stars win this one 3-2. Series tied 2-2, heading back to Dallas for the Game 5. But I don't like blaming the referees for games, but I have to on this game. Dallas scored 2 power play goals on 2 called penalties that were not penalties. Tyler Seguin got both of them, but they were a few rough goals. Gustafsson, everybody has those games. I've said that before. But it just shows how good Dallas' power play is as well. I mean, you can't afford to let up any penalties at all to these guys. Fantastic offense. Like great scheme, like I said, with Boston. But another part that kept Dallas in this game was Jake Oettinger. He played fantastic. And I really like Jake Oettinger, too. So it's a shame that he's playing against the Wild because, we don't get no easy routes with Minnesota in any league at all. But, yeah, I don't agree with those penalties at all. One of them was a tripping. It was a hit. The other one was interference when the player had the puck. I don't understand both on Marcus Foligno. I completely agree with his reaction. He was pissed. I was pissed. I can't stand when referees just have a power surge and want to do what they want to, but I just can't agree with it.
Yeah. Minnesota dominated this game, and it sucks that they didn't come out on top. I thought they played very well, but somehow they always run into a hot goalie, and I think this time it's just another example of that in Jake Oettinger. Now that's not to discredit Jake Oettinger. I think he's played phenomenal, but the Stars got very lucky in this one as well. I didn't think they played that well, to be completely honest with you. They got lucky, like I said, with those 2 power plays. They were not deserved whatsoever. Like you said, they weren't penalties. They played lackluster defense, but they relied on Oettinger between the pipes. And like I said, he was amazing. But another guy like Tyler Seguin, I think with him stepping up, that they need that. They got Pavelski out. Not sure how long he's going to be out. And they needed somebody to fill that role, and Seguin did that. He had 2 goals, and I don't know if he had an assist, but I know he had 2 goals on those 2 power plays, like you said. But they need that from Tyler Seguin if they want to go far.
Yeah, you got the story of Jake Oettinger and the referees in this game. That's all you can really talk about, to be honest, because Jake Oettinger, enough can't be said about what he's been doing in the net. Like, I mean, there was a few breakaways that he stopped that Minnesota definitely had like a wide open net. I think Hartman missed a wide open net one time. He just completely missed the puck on a wide open net. So that's another thing. Like Minnesota still could have won this game, even though the penalties were bad or whatever. I gotta say also that penalty call, the one that Zuccarello drew in the end of the 3rd period, I don't think that was a penalty either. No. So that's like over half the goals in this game. 3 out of the 5 goals in this game were on penalties that should not have been called, in my opinion. I think maybe that was a make-up call toward the end there because the referee might have felt bad about making a stupid call there on Foligno twice. But, yeah, I agree with you. I don't like when the referee comes in between the outcome of a game. Credit to Dallas. They got the win. They capitalized on their chances. So you can't discredit them for that. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Game 5.
Yeah, I can't blame it all on the refs, too, because like you said, Minnesota missed a lot of wide open nets, especially at the end of the game, there was Foligno just completely whiffed on one that went right by him. But, Jake Ottinger was standing on his head. He is, I'd say, a top 10 goalie in the league. So you can't.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was refs, but it was also just an incredible goalie that you have with an incredible team that you're playing against. So there's not much you can do about that.
Making a case for a top 5 goalie.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And with our final game of the night, we have the Kings versus the Oilers. This was an absolutely wild game. The Oilers take this one 5-4 and tie the series up 2-2. The Kings were up 3-0 after the first. Jack Campbell came in for Stuart Skinner at the to start the second, and Edmonton after the second came back to tie it 3-3. But it was a very even game the whole way through for Korpisalo and Campbell. They played very good as well when Campbell came in. Pretty surprised by that, not because he's a bad goalie, but solely for the fact that he hasn't played in so long, coming into a playoff game and sitting on the bench for 30 minutes, in the first period, just waiting, not even thinking to come in this game. But this is a very, very crucial win for the Oilers. They needed this before they went back home. Get the home atmosphere again, just get a little reset in before you go into the game 5. Just winner of that game. We've got one more game, that's it. So I think it was a very crucial win for the Edmonton Oilers on a very good game. What it was, Zach Hyman scored the overtime goal. Very nice goal as well, coming down the wing. Yeah, what can I say about this game? I liked it. Kings played very good again. They got the great defense. They're holding everybody down. Draisaitl played as well though. Like he has been all series, all playoffs. He's been absolutely fantastic. McDavid still played good, but is not Connor McDavid. He must be hurt or something because he don't look comfortable when all the time he's on the ice. He still has shades of him going absolutely crazy like he normally does, but it just seems like something's off. So I think that's something to note for Edmonton and the Kings.
Well, for me, I thought this was the game of the playoffs. Edmonton. I don't know about how it was an even game, like you said, but I thought Edmonton looked absolutely terrible in the first to start this. They were down 3-0 early. That terrible. I know me and Nick kind of talked about it a little bit. I don't know how Desharnais is a NHL defenseman. He did not look good last night. But anyway, going back to how Edmonton looked, they looked awful. They somehow managed to scrape this out, but quite literally by the skin of their teeth. Right, and then you can't do that in the playoffs, right? Going back to, I'm going to talk about Draisaitl as well. I think you said in the last video or a couple videos before how he's just too good and everybody else, everybody on the ice is just not on his level. He was on the ice. He's been on the ice for every goal the Oilers have scored in the playoffs so far, which is it's just amazing.
Yeah, I gotta say, we got to give a lot of credit to Phil Deneau after what we were seeing last night. Phil Deneau put on another clinic of defense as a forward, and he won a lot of face-offs. He shut down Connor McDavid. He is shutting down McDavid. I do think McDavid is a little bit hurt. He's doing a lot of things that Connor McDavid doesn't normally do because he's forcing a lot of passes through that aren't getting through. That could just be good defensive stakes by the Kings, but a lot of them look like plays he shouldn't be trying to make, especially when you're down in a game. You can't be forcing plays like that. You got to get the puck in deep, get it to the net, and don't be forcing a pass that you can't make. You can put it on net, just see what happens. No shot's a bad shot, right? So I think there's something on McDavid there. But we also need to talk about the Oilers' power play is saving them right now. They went 2 for 3 in that game. They got 3 opportunities. They capitalized on 2 of them. 66% in that game. That's great. The Oilers did not look very good at all that game. The Kings did look very good for most part of the game. It looked like they kind of maybe gave up in the second period and a little bit of the third period. But, Joonas Korpisalo is playing great. He let in a weak one. I think that overtime goal was a little bit of a weak one there under the shoulder, but you can't blame him. The Oilers had some really quality chances despite playing pretty bad, and Korpisalo made a lot of good saves. So, it's going to be exciting to see what happens in Game 5 here.
Yep. And no, you said a good point. I should reiterate. By even, I meant shots, face-offs, all the team stats were pretty even. The Oilers looked terrible for that first period, heated up in the second, but stats-wise, team stats, they were pretty even. Yeah, it wasn't a back-and-forth game for the most part until around the third period overtime. Yeah, but
if the Oilers fans, if we could put a poll somewhere and ask if they want me in for Vincent Desharnais next game, we should do that.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good idea.
Brutal player.
Yeah, it was bad plays by him. But
It's
just
never been good.
yeah, no. Just before we end this video, I want to go over the games that are going to be going on tonight. We have the Devils versus the Rangers, the Maple Leafs versus the Lightning, the Golden Knights versus the Jets, and the Avalanche versus the Kraken. So I do expect some good games again tonight. Maple Leafs and Lightning. Interesting to see what happens this game if the Leafs take a 3-1 lead or the Lightning tie it up. I think that's going to be the game of the night, I would say, so far. A pre-game. So if you want to see just what we're going to have to say about that tomorrow, make sure to subscribe because we're going to have a video on it. We're going to be going over all those games, and we're going to be going throughout the playoffs. So if you like the video, make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching.